Kids of Troop 44 came out of sort of giving your kids something to do before actually attending their class. Um, when did that idea sort of spark? Was it just one day you were like, you know what, these kids need something to do other than just show up and get moving, or?
So the thing is with like Ninja Turtles or X-Men or those are like the two big franchises that are like stuck in my head constantly, whether I know the canon or not. But like in my head canon, it's like that's
Absolutely.
where it all goes. It's about it. Like they lost a lot. They didn't always win. They weren't overly powerful. Wolverine was really small. The Turtles started off really small, and I was really small. So it was, it would, they had the lessons of try hard, get beat up, get up, train, go back again, right? It kind of like that cycle. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's the story. That's the story of that underdog team. Like that's why I love football movies. I don't play football or watch football, but I love football movies, right?
Same.
Right, right. Little Giants, any given Sunday, whew, those those are good.
That's the stuff.
Yeah, but yeah. So those are so I wanted to have that in between. But the thing is, what I found with the Turtles and with the Turtles and X-Men is like they told the story, but they didn't actually show you the move, right?
Mm, okay.
Right? They didn't actually show you the move. So it's like I want to show the move, right? I want people to show the move. Like I have up here, it's like there's like those old Solson publications that Ninja Turtles teach karate.
Yeah.
Also, like and they were corny, right? like, but I love them. I love the corny stuff because it's like, oh, there's no shredder in this, but they're showing some moves. So that stuck with me. So that was what I did. There was a couple experiments where I before I even like had to like print anything, I grabbed the Sharpie and a piece of paper and I would draw like the beginning of a move and then
Mm-hmm.
the end of a move, right? Like just
Yeah.
the load up, and then the go, and then I'd show it to a kid without telling them anything, and just be like, "Do you think you could do this?" And they're like, "Yeah, this," and then they would do it, and they did bring it back, and they're like, "Oh, pictures work."
You're
Right, pictures
teaching,
work.
yeah.
So then I got busy, and I just started. Before I even wrote a story, I tried to get a library of moves down that I could just fit into every chapter. I think a bunch of concepts in there that, like, that I talk about distance, right? I talk about distance. I talk about punching. I talk about tying your belt. I talk about
Yes.
breathing. Uh, right? I talk about handling nerves, right? Which is a huge part of anything, I think, right? And
Oh, yeah.
right, so right, and then I throw in a couple of fart jokes because they're funny, right?
Yep.
I don't think I'm ever gonna be too old for a fart joke, but so I tried to put it all together so uh, they'd be able to practice the move without actually practicing the move, and
Yes.
maybe listen uh, listen to the same words that I'm saying, listen to the same words that their parents are saying, but just not have our voices behind it. Right? I don't know how many times I've heard a parent say, I tell my kid the same thing, but they only listen to you. And I was like, well, because I'm not their mom and I'm not their
Yeah.
dad. Right? You love them unconditionally. Like my love and my like is strictly on conditions
Yep.
in
Yeah,
this situations,
exactly.
right. If you don't listen, if you do listen, it's fair, it's fairly simple on that side, but yeah, so being able to do that and kind of going through making coloring sheets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Coloring sheets, and then those coloring sheets end up transforming into like a panel, and then I fit it around. So
Yep.
nothing was really made like sequentially, like all like from beginning to end. I didn't write it that way, right? It
It just
kind of
kind
like
of.
it kind of it, I put what I wanted to do, and I had the story kind of fill in, and it's a Karate Kid football movie. That
Yeah.
was what I had in my head, right? That's what I had in my head. I was like, has to be a Karate Kid football movie because, right, that they say write what you know, and I wasn't, I can't, I wasn't in the position to write Watchmen. I wasn't in the position.
Yep.
Right? I can't write Dark Knight Returns because I don't know that yet, right? But I do know what it's like be uh, to be overlooked. I do know what it's like to fight with your family. I do know what it's like to try to prove something. I do know what it's like to get really, really nervous to the point of not wanting to do it. Right. And yeah, so, and sometimes when I start feeling that way now, because it doesn't go away, right? It doesn't go away. These nerves things, they don't go away. Right. My sign for myself is if I feel fear and excitement at the same time, that's the signal that I have to go and do something, right? If I feel just excitement, I have to really, really think. I have to say, like, am I just excited about doing this because of whatever reason? I'll still lean towards doing it, but I if there's no fear behind it, it might be fun at the moment, but it may not be lasting. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing to do things just out of excitement. I'm just saying it might not be like, it won't change me like really, really inside. Right. And if something is just straight up scary, but I have no excitement behind it, like driving the car really, really fast for me, that's scary. I have no excitement in driving my car 160 kilometers down the highway. I have no. Like, there's no excitement there. I'd rather chill out and listen to a podcast and drive in the old lady lane, right? So I will, but if there's something that is exciting and scary, right? Exciting and scary. So, for example, my first con that I did, or the first show that I did, and it was a small show. It was a small show like in Leaside, right? It was just like a little community center. Mm-hmm. But Dale Keown was there. Dale Keown from like the Pit and the Hulk, and yeah, that guy. He was like 5 tables down. He was 5 tables down, and this guy had a lineup of people, like just basically around the con. A con of like people had their Pits and their Hulks for him to sign, right? They had books because they were asking for commissions, right? People were asking him for commissions, so he was all lined up, and I was there. I was so unprepared. I had my one book that wasn't a complete story. I had my one book that wasn't a complete story. I had the tablecloth that they gave me, and a smile on my face, and a coffee because my cousin came and he got me a coffee.
I mean, that's the way to do it, though,
right? So then I just saw people, and I didn't even bring like anything for like. I had no background in it. I didn't have anything to like draw like commissions or anything for people, which is like that's how I make my table, right?
Yep.
Right? When I had tables. When we were allowed to have tables, now we don't. So we're just waiting. But yeah, I would do that, and that's where I had fear, right? Because I fought and I've won, and like people are happy, but sometimes they don't care, right? Mm-hmm. And I've lost before. Like I've gotten beaten up, and people forget. Right? People forget, and they don't really care sometimes, and people really care about how you make them feel, right? That's usually what ends up happening. After all of these things, it wasn't scary. Like I've gone to terms, like even if I brought like a bunch of athletes, and I've had like rough days where just everybody lost, and like. It's rough, right? But it was exciting. I liked it, right? I still love it. Like, but it wasn't. I didn't have the fear of like, I wasn't as self-conscious about I am with art, right? Because when I go to these cons, nobody would care if I'm Master C. Nobody cares what degree I am, right?
Yeah.
They just want to know, is your picture good? Why is that hand all funky? Because I don't know how to draw hands, man. Right? I'm learning, right?